podcasts on unctv.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNCTV.
Gerard Henderson wasn't so lucky. He contracted HIV at birth from his mother.
I found out when I was 5 or 6, one of those, and it was through eavesdropping, which little kids like to do. And so my mother and my doctor were talking, and they had mentioned it, and I was just like, oh, I have HIV. Oh, okay, let me go play in the toy center, and it was just something in the back of my head.
When he was born in the late 1980s, there was no way to prevent HIV transmission from mother to child.
If a mother was HIV positive, then there was about a 1 in 4 chance that her baby would be infected.
Dr. Susan Fiscus says that's not the case in this new age of HIV/AIDS. She runs the state lab at UNC Chapel Hill that tests babies born to HIV-positive mothers. After promising research in the mid-1990s, doctors began treating pregnant HIV-positive women with AIDS drugs, and Dr. Fiscus watched the statewide transmission rate plummet.
It went from 25% in 1993 down to it was about 10 to 15% for the next 2 years, and then went down to about 5% for several years, and then about 3%, and last year 2.4%. We have about 3 to 5 kids every year who are infected.
Doctors say the first step in preventing mother-to-child transmission is HIV testing. North Carolina law requires pregnant women to have an HIV test unless they specifically choose not to. A state survey found in 2003, 83% of women were tested during pregnancy or delivery.
It's just important for every woman who's pregnant to know what her HIV status is, because there's something that could be done to protect her child if it was positive.
Protecting the child often means putting the mother on medication, says Dr. Colleen Cunningham. She is the chief of pediatric infectious diseases at Duke University Medical Center. Once the babies are born, they take medicine for 6 weeks. If the virus was transmitted during birth, the medicine might prevent infection. Then Dr. Susan Fiscus' lab tests the baby's blood for HIV. Dr. Fiscus says nowadays most transmissions happen because mothers either didn't know they had HIV or received no prenatal care.
I had to call up one of the pediatricians to tell them that this baby was infected, and so they called back sometime later after talking to the mother, and she said she would have been tested if only her obstetrician had asked her, or mentioned it to her. So it's hard enough when everything has gone, everyone has done it according to plan, and there's a transmission, and that's bad. But it makes me kind of angry as well when I know that a lot of these could have been prevented. Not all of them, but a lot of them could have been prevented.
Children who have HIV face a special set of circumstances, according to Dr. Cunningham.
What I frequently see is that families are so terrified of the reaction that they're going to get from the people around them, whether it's the church or the school or the friends or the neighbors, that they do keep it a big secret. The stress of keeping that secret is actually very hard on the kids and the families. It also sends a message to the child that there's something that we're ashamed of, and there's something that if people knew it about you, they would be horrified.
Gerard Henderson says he picks and chooses who to tell.
Me and my uncle, when I was younger, used to have debates about, you can't tell these people, you can't do this. And, I used to always say, why? Because it's not really a big deal to me.
He sees his illness as an opportunity to educate.
I feel I'm helping the world, helping mold people's minds into what it is. And, it's not all about you being sick, because I ain't sick, I don't look sick.
To stay that way, Gerard eats a balanced diet, exercises, and takes several medicines each day.
I take, I believe, 5 medicines at night and 4 in the morning.
He says the biggest problem he deals with is a lack of social support for HIV-positive teenagers, so he hopes to start a club at school for students coping with diseases. He's also looking toward the future. Gerard plans to go to college. He's thinking about being a lawyer, a social worker, or a pediatrician, and he is not thinking about HIV.
I don't think about it killing me because I'm very healthy. I actually wrote a poem a while ago for an English class, and it said in the last part that I want to live to be 60 or greater, you see, if it's in God's plan, you see. Are you understanding me? Now, this thing will be 0, undetectable, gone, c'est la vie. That's all you need to understand about me.